Hello, George. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Can you hear me okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. You guys can hear me okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's working. How are you guys today? Okay. Let's see where we're going to start. Give a few minutes for some other people to maybe join. And I'm going to see where am I going to start my screen. All right, let's see how that works. All right, guys. So I'm going to just get started. I did invite a few people to join me in the discussion if they are able to. I know it's a work day, but I was just eager to come out here and stream a little bit and discuss the new watch that I just purchased. It was completely off my radar. I had no intention of buying this watch, yet, as we research and look and dig and crawl on the internet, it came before me and it popped out at me, and I had to pull the trigger on this watch. So, which watch is it? The Omega Speedmaster. Now, boy, I know this is a common watch. I know a lot of people speak about this watch, the man on the moon. I have tended to not want this particular watch. I've not really had any particular interest in it for quite some time because it just seems like a common watch, and I love the aesthetics of it. Um, However, there's just something that didn't appeal to me. I needed something a little bit more special out of this watch to draw me into it, and it looks like I found something to that effect to draw me in. Um, I'm not going to be a TGV rat, so let's talk about where I learned a lot about this watch, and we'll give them some credit, some due credit. Fratello magazine. This is a great magazine. Um, this gentleman, Robert Janbroer, wrote an article about the Speedy, a very extensive article, which I'm going to share with you today. We'll give him all full due credit. And we're going to go through his article because this article, to be quite honest, with a lot of other stuff I researched, um, um, helped me make my decision. But I thought this was a great article to share with you guys. If you are definitely interested in buying a Speedmaster, I really do think you would want to watch this video, especially if you don't know much about them, because I did hours and hours of research on my own before I procured this watch. So let's talk about, the easiest thing to do, to be honest, is going to be to kind of skim through this article. It'll kind of guide my discussion. So, uh, the reference numbers. Take a look here to this yellow sheet on the right of my page. You see the yellow sheet here to the right of my page where there's a list of these numbers. Well, these are all the Speedies with the .022 reference number, which is the one we're going to be interested in. So if you look at this chart created by Roman Hartman, okay, This is a great chart. This chart by Mr. Hartman shows you the evolution of the Speedmaster, corresponding serial numbers, calibers, and case numbers referencing the year. So let's go through here. Basically, the area of our interest is going to be around the moon landing period, 1966 to 1971. This is our area of interest right here. And what you're going to notice here is the renowned 321 movement in this column has been used up until 1968 into this Moonwatch. And in 1968, they had switched to the 861 caliber. So this is where we start our understanding of what we're looking for. The 321 caliber movement, when it became the 861 caliber movement, why did they do that? Well, it was an improvement. It was a technological design improvement, very significant, as a matter of fact, such that that 861 is the basis for the current 1861, I believe it is, that's in there today. Does this go all the way? Yeah, the 1861. So you see here in 1997, they improved the 861 to the 1861. Look at that. You're basically looking at a 30-year period in which that 861 caliber survived. Pretty remarkable. Now, why did they move it? Why did they change it, upgrade? Well, technologically, it was a 21. They went from an 18,000 beat per hour caliber, 18,000 beat per hour, to a 21,600 beat per hour. And in addition, it was much cheaper to produce. I don't know the dollar figures, but that's just what the article refers to. Now, looking at the transition between 67, 68, and the year 1969 watches, let's concentrate on this a minute. Lots of people are looking for those 321s. That would be a natural thought. Let's go for the old vintage 321 movements. And yes, that's a good way to look at it. Going after those 321s that are going to be more scarce, harder to find. They're older. They were only produced through 1968. However, one thing to keep in mind is that there's a lot of them. I mean, there's not a huge amount of them, but there is a huge amount of them because it was a full production watch through 1968. Okay. So, yeah, you can get an old vintage 321 Speedy, good condition, make sure it's all proper, and you'll be proper with that watch. However, and that might have been something I went for. What's up, Clive? What's that reference? The -66 that you're speaking of? Is that the one that you have? Hi, bud. Oh, proper. It's proper. Join me, Clive, if you can. I sent you a link to your Wrangler email address. So what I figured out is, look, here, let me go on a little side note here. What have I been shopping for? I'm gonna tell you guys what I've been shopping for. I have, in my mind, contemplated some of the let me write them down here in the right column on the yellow sheet here. I personally have been deciding what watches are the sleepers. So take a look over here on the little yellow sheet on the right of the page. I'm writing on here sleepers. What are the sleepers? And this led me to this watch. So I'm thinking to myself, look, I want my watches to be a little bit special. You know, I'm kind of a special ed guy. All right, I want a little bit of speciality in my collection. Okay, so what what uh what was I looking for? What's a sleeper to me? A sleeper to me is a watch that hasn't popped yet. What's the next watch to pop? And I'm not necessarily interested in it for the money, but I am interested in it for the rush of getting that watch that's so coveted, perhaps. Or look, I'm looking at uh, these watches that are haven't been discovered yet. Okay, so and luck and over the past few years, I have been very lucky in purchasing watches that have become that were sleepers that woke up, and I didn't know they were sleepers at the time. I just picked what I liked. And there's an interesting guy on the internet. His name is Roman Sheriff, I think. I might have screwed his name up, but um, yeah, the rush of beating the herd, Clive. Well, it's just fun to get the right watch too. I'm gonna be honest. Buying these modern Rolex have been great. They're fabulous. I'm in hella love with them. You can't make a mistake buying a modern Rolex. You're not going to get screwed on counterfeit. You're not going to get screwed on price. You're not going to get screwed on whatever. Okay. The watch not working. It's modern. So I went with modern. Now, as I've matured, I've learned, I feel I have a little bit more qualifications behind me to understand what's bullshit and what isn't. Um, I accidentally, the last couple of days, started discovering the vintage world, and I didn't realize how much fun it can be because it just sucks your ass in to research and research and research. And then when you start realizing all the different little nicks and knacks of the watch, and I'll tell you what's really cool is when you find the watch that has all the little nicks and knacks, like the one I found yesterday, it just, man, it just really, you know, puts a flame under your ass. Okay. So which watches have I been crazily stalking when I can't afford a watch? To be honest, I can't afford another watch, but I've been still stalking them. So let me write down the first one that I've been looking for. My first watch that I've been chasing was the Zenith Daytona, and more particularly the two-tone. Why? Well, everybody knows that the Zenith Daytona is hot to trot right now. I went and saw Kenny Nguyen a year ago, March of last year, 2018, to go have my Rolex sub-serviced, and he wanted a little too much, so I didn't do it there. And at the time, I was pulling the trigger on a 5196 Calatrava Patek, and that was already in my mind. I knew the watch I was getting. I'm pulling the trigger. At the time, I walked into Kenny Nguyen's shop, and when I walked into Kenny Nguyen's shop, he showed me a Zenith white dial Daytona mint condition for 17.8, and he tried to push it on me, and I didn't do it because I had that Patek 5196 in my mind at $14,700. How can you beat that? 14,700 for a 5196 Patek. So what the hell did I do? I got the Patek, but in hindsight, I wish I held off on the Patek and I got that white dial steel Zenith Daytona. It was all steel for 17.8 because now those are going for 24,000. So let's get back to the sleeper, the Zenith Daytona two-tone. I honestly believe if you can get one of these watches, for 11,000 without papers, for 12,000 with papers, 12,005 with papers, I really think you're in the money on that watch. It's the last Zenith Daytona that honestly it hasn't appreciated. That watch is, I mean, look, I don't give a damn if it's two-tone, three-tone, four-tone. made out of dog shit. It's got a Zenith Daytona in it, and it's a Rolex. That's all that matters to me. So, all the kids out there that are crying about two-tone, it's an old man's watch, it's ugly, whatever. You know what? Screw you. When that Zenith Daytona is worth $25,000 in a couple of years, you're gonna wish you bought it, and that's the bottom line. All right. So that was number one watch on my sleeper list. The number two watch on my sleeper list. That one. That Rolex GMT Pepsi Vintage. I believe these are, some of them have popped crazily, but what you need to understand and what I've been noticing, and I still got to get one of these, but what I've been seeing is that with the Rolex GMT Pepsi Vintage, is that the prime examples of this watch, meaning, what do I mean by the prime examples of this watch? I'm talking about, hey, what's up, Blue? Boy, all you guys got wrenches. I gave the main dudes wrenches, man, and you guys all have them because there aren't that many people in here. Um, why? What? The hell was I saying? The Pepsi. Um, the Oh yeah, okay. So which ones have been bought up? Let's talk about this a second. Clive, which one of these? Which of the Pepsi vintages have been bought up, Clive? It's been the older reference models, the models with the best patina, and the models in the best condition. Okay, that's what I think. And so what's left out there is what we need to pick up. So if you see a Pepsi GMT that seems undervalued next to a peer GMT, maybe it's not the best year, maybe it's not the best condition, maybe it's not the best patina, maybe you know, but the thing is that I've been seeing these for, 12,000 bucks, 11, 12, 13, and if all of the other ones have already appreciated to 25, 35, the only ones left, guys, are these $12,000 pieces. Hey, what's up, Thomas? The only ones left, guys, are the $12,000, $13,000 GMT Pepsi pieces. All of the better pieces are gone. And that's not to say these pieces are bad. Shit, there's nothing wrong with them. I've got my eye on one for 13,000 right now, but I just can't pull the trigger because I just bought two watches yesterday. And I'm not going to talk about the second one right now because I got enough content here to talk about the first one. But yeah, my crazy ass bought another watch last night besides this Moonwatch. All right. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun with the next live stream I do with the next watch because it's out of the norm. It's up Vintonier's alley, and it's out of the norm for what you guys would get, what I would get. Um, and I think it's a sleeper as well. So these Rolex Pepsis, man, these are the next sleepers. Okay, all right, that's in my mind. Okay, what else? Um, what else? The next is the Omega Speedmaster, like what I'm going to talk about. So I think these are the next sleeper watches, and why? Same reason for the Pepsi GMT that it's gonna go up. All of the primest examples of the Pepsis, the primest examples of the Speedmasters have been fetched up and their prices driven up. We got to get the last ones that are out there. And trust me, they're still out there. They're still out there. And look, once the good ones, the best examples are all driven up in price and all attained and gotten, this is what's left, guys. And the prices are going to go up on these as well because that's all that's going to be left. All right. Um, thanks, Blue. Thanks, Blue. So let's look at the which one did I pick up? So I wanted to pick up one of the ones with the fewest production numbers, which made sense to me. So when I learned that in 1968 there was a transitional model, and a transitional model was the least produced watch. And if you look on the Roman Hartmann's chart here, you can see here in the 1968 year, right here, that there's two model numbers, the 145012 followed by the 022. So the 022 is the newer model that came out, and it was the model that replaced the 321 motor with the 861 caliber motor. In 1968, they transitioned. So that's the year where they had to supply both watches. They're making the switcheroo here, going from one to the other. In 1968, specifically, the first new 861 model that they made, the 145022 in 1968, was only produced for 9 months. 9 months. So it has the shortest lived production span of any of these Omegas, unless someone corrects me if I'm wrong. And not only that, there are differences within those 9-month production models. There were some, I want to call them pre-transitional. So you have the transitional 145022s in 1968, but for a very short period in between the old one and the new one, there was what I'm calling a pre-transitional transitional, and it had some slight differences between the one that came after it. So within that, so what I'm trying to say is within the 9 months, production of the 1968 watch, they produced a slightly different variation of the watch for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months in that time. So imagine having one of these speedies that was not limited to a 9-month production span, but limited to a couple of months production span. Okay. And we're going to get to that next. So, but what I want you to understand, I know some of you are probably wondering what the hell are the colors in the chart. It took me a little while to figure out what the colors in the chart mean. And what it means is that that watch was still produced during those years. So if you look at the 1966 145012, and it's in a cream colored box, yellow box, it was produced in 66, 67, and 68. The watch that the 145022 with serial numbers to the right, 26, was produced in 68, 69, and I'm guessing that that means that some were produced in 70. Okay, so that's the trickle down of them. Yeah, blue shirt. I know the Pepsi, the Batman prices are way out of control. It's crazy. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, you know, you don't know unless you get the money in your hand, but somebody from Craigslist made a final deal with me on my Rolex sub, and it looks like they're going to buy my Rolex sub for $9,700. The one that I showed you that has a Rolex 2-year service. I haven't worn it since I got it. I agreed on $9,700. He's supposed to meet me on Tuesday to get the watch. I'm not loyal to any strangers, so if any of you guys want my 2012 Rolex serviced sub for $9,700, it's yours, man. You can have it. But this guy's supposed to get it on Tuesday, but you don't know until the money's in your hands. So I basically replaced my Rolex sub date with this vintage Speedy. Okay. Okay, so where are we at now? I think we got enough of this chart. Okay, one last thing on this chart. We can look at serial numbers. We're going to come back and reference this. You see the serial numbers, how they start with 24, 25, 26. All right, so we'll just keep that in mind. All right, let's go to another. Let's go back to the article. And real quick, did you guys know that Bitcoin is at 9,930? So my very first live stream that I did, the very first live stream, I was talking about crossing over 8,000 on Bitcoin. And now we're talking about crossing 10,000. All right. So I've got some Bitcoin here dedicated for my Grail watch, which is going to be a perpetual calendar Patek or a data graph. And I'm basically telling you that I bought a Bitcoin for $3,500. And when Bitcoin reaches $100,000, I'm going to get me a freaking $100,000 watch. And that watch is going to have cost me $3,500. Watch when I do that live stream. That's going to be the greatest live stream, watch live stream of all historic proportions. All right. And I think you guys would agree. Okay. Now, let me get back to the Omega. I lost my train of thought here. Okay, this article is going to kind of help guide my discussion here. So, let's see here. Oh, you know, which watch did the guy wear on the moon? I don't really give a damn which one he wore on the moon, but it wasn't any of these ones we're looking at, because it was the one that Clive referenced, the 105012 is the one that actually went on the moon, and also one of the moon watches, because one astronaut wore one and one astronaut wore the other. All right. All right. You know what? I'm going to cut from the bullshit. Let's pull up my watch. Where's my watch at? Right here. Okay, this is the watch that I bought. This is the watch that I bought. Now, let me talk. I'm going to talk about the differences here real quick. This is the watch that I bought. This is it. I found it on eBay and on Chrono24. Now, here's the differences between mine and a regular. So let's talk about the differences between mine and a regular 1968 Transitional. One of the things you want to look for is the bezel. The bezel is extremely important. I have a dot over 90 bezel. So if you look at the 90 on the bezel, there's a dot above the 90. It's in its proper position. Okay. In lots of other, in any other speedies, the dot's going to be beside the 90. So that's one of the things you want to look for. You want to look for the dot above the 90. All right. The next thing you want to look for is the step dial. So if you see the minute track around the dial is actually stepped down. You can see the step on the watch. There you go. You see the step on the watch? So that's another important design feature on the transitional model. Okay. The last thing is the Omega applied logo. So the applied logo at 12 o'clock, it's a steel logo that's been applied. It's not painted. All right. So what does that mean? Only when I talked about these watches being produced for 9 months, this 1968 transitional model, only some of them got that applied logo. The rest of them are painted. There isn't an applied logo. So finding one of these Omega transitionals with an applied logo, to me, is a little bit more of a rare find. Okay, and to be honest, that's why I jumped on it. So if you look at this one, for example, you can see here that the dot is besides the 90. Okay, the dot's beside the 90. The Omega logo is painted on. It's not an applied steel logo. And the ring around the minute track is flat. It's not recessed. So let's see here. Okay, I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit. Serial numbers. Serial numbers were produced on the case back, but on the older watches, the serial numbers are on the inside case back. So if you look at mine here, oh, I'm sorry, my serial number's on my motor. Now they're on the cases, but prior it was on the motor. So here's the serial number. You can see it here. It says 273-24589. So now what I did was I went and referenced my table here, and I could see that you can see it here on the corresponding chart. So 273 is what mine starts with, right? 273. So you can see here, here's a serial number, 273. 273 starts right here. Now, Clive, I was going to ask you about this, but I thought it was pretty simple explanation. Why does the one I bought, why does it have a serial number starting with 27 when it's a 1968 watch and the 27 refers to a 1969? Well, I don't think it matters, because you see how the orange box goes from 68, 69, and 70. So basically, those watches were produced and released throughout 68, 69, and 70. So I've got a 68 Transitional with an applied logo that, you know, it just so happened that they got in their warehouse the new movements, and one of them went in my watch, the 27 serial number, right, Fivers? Makes sense. I wouldn't assume that it's a service motor, because why would it have a serial number so early? If it was a service motor for some reason, then it would have a serial number that would probably be later than that. It just doesn't make sense anyway. It just makes sense to me that it is the correct corresponding piece. So what's going to go up, bud? So let me see here. I kind of lost my whole mojo. Where am I at? Okay. I know where I want to go. Okay. So let's go here to let's go to transitional. The transitional. Here we go. Okay, check this out. Okay, the Lamagna based movement. Okay, Changed from a column wheel chronograph 321 to a shuttle cam chronograph 861. The beat rate increased. Okay, down here in the middle of the paragraph, there are certain Speedmaster Professional -68 models that have the dial with the applied Omega logo. However, this dial is not identical to the 012 dials, as the sizes of the pins that connect the dial to the movement are different. The final 1968 022 transitional models came, of course, with the dial with the printed Omega logo. It is assumed that October 1968 was the end of the 145012, although the watch was still shipped to distributors and retailers till months after. So do you see how it makes sense that I jumped on this watch? It seems like the production of these Omegas with the logo, with the applied logo, was very short-lived, a very short run. It goes on to say that some of the dials have a discolored or aged bezel that have turned chocolate brown. And if you look at those, they're worth $50,000. I mean, Bob's has one. Was it Bob's? No, European Watch Company has one. Favorite place. Look, European Watch has one right here. Okay. And it's $50,000. And why does it have a tropical brown dial? Because they used a crappy lacquer on the dial, which aged and turned brown and started peeling. And so it's damage. It's damage to the dial. And the damage to this dial, this bubbling lacquer, it's a bubbling lacquer. You see it? You see how it's bubbling? That bubbling lacquer raised the price of this watch to $48,500, okay? Now, this is a 321, 1967. So this is a year prior. You'll see that it has the applied logo. See the applied logo. It has the step bezel, and it has the dot over 90. So my 68 pre-transitional, okay, I'm going to call it pre-transitional because it has the applied logo, whereas the transitional does not have the applied logo. Mine is aesthetically close to this 012 model as you can get. It's the last homage to the prior model. So to me, I just kind of feel like I found a little diamond in the rough. Nah, fuck the new old stock, bud. Don't. And if you're gonna wear the watch, bud, why would you want to get new old stock if you're gonna wear the watch and depreciate yourself, 1,800, $1,600? Absolutely not, bud. If you're gonna wear it, get the cheaper one. If you're gonna stick it in a safe and never touch it again, then maybe get the new stock one. But I think you're eating up your appreciation if you buy the new stock one, buddy. Okay. Now, where were we here? Wait till we get to the bracelet. Okay. Okay, there's another one called the blue dial. Can you tell that dial is blue? I'll be damned if you can tell the dial is blue. I don't know. So to be honest, I don't know if the dial on the one I'm getting is blue or black. But apparently the blue one is very rare and it's worth a lot of money. And I guess all I can do is hope that mine's blue and not black because it looks like it's black, but it's so hard to tell. If this watch comes and it's got the blue dial, then, you know, I kind of hit the lottery, but I doubt it, but you never know. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, let me throw up a warning, a warning before I forget. Here's a warning to be careful about what you buy, and you should know what you buy. If you buy this Omega Speedmaster for 8,950, you're getting ripped off, because this is a 1967 012 model, and it doesn't have the dot over 90 bezel, and it doesn't have an applied logo, which is telling me it's a service dial. Why doesn't this why doesn't this 67 Speedmaster have a dot over 90 bezel? Because it's a service bezel. Why doesn't it have an applied logo? Because it's a service dial. Okay. And they're selling it for 9,000 bucks, man. I mean, you know, that watch isn't worth $9,000 with a service bezel and a service dial. Okay. So be careful what you're buying. Um, okay, what else did I want to go over? The bracelet. Okay, the bracelet. Let's go over the bracelet. So the watch I'm getting comes on a NATO strap. I decided I probably want to have the bracelet with this watch. And so I researched the bracelets. And lo and behold, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked to see that the bracelets are $2,000 for this watch. There's a couple of bracelets that'll fit on here. There's the 1039 original, which they stopped producing in the 60s. And then there's the 1171, which will run about $600-700. And it's the replacement bracelet. Okay. So I found a guy on Instagram who is going to sell me the bracelet for 1,500 bucks. So I think I got a good deal. But you should know that the bracelet's worth, you know, a couple of $1,000s. So if you're looking at buying one of these, it's important you get the bracelet, and it's important that you understand the end links are separate from the bracelet.
Front door.
So the end links, the part that fits the bracelet onto the case, this section that you see down here at the bottom with the pin, is the end link. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, the end link. So look at this, for example. This son of a bitch is selling the end links for $1,000. And then you want to buy the bracelet here for 1,400, and then buy the links from the other guy. So that's going to cost you 2,400. This one was $1,400, but it was dragged through hell and back. That one, actually, that one looked pretty good. There was another one here that looked like it was dragged through hell and back. Okay, so now that you know the bracelet costs, you know, this is the best one that I found from Ohio. Okay, 2,100 bucks, and it comes with the links. So now I found one on Instagram. So once I get the watch and I certify that the watch is authentic, etc., etc., I'm gonna jump on one of these bracelets. Why do I want the bracelet so bad? Because the bracelet wasn't produced after 68, 69, and as time goes on, that bracelet, I checked the history of the price on that bracelet, and in 2015 it was $500. So it's gone up 400% in 4 years. So in the future, you're going to be cost prohibited from buying that bracelet. It's just going to be priceless. It's going to be worth more than the watch. So nobody will sell them and nobody will buy them. You're just going to be stuck with what you got at some point. So I decided now is the best time to get the bracelet. Now, here's something else interesting that I want you guys to understand. If you're shopping for one of these like me, okay, do you buy one of these bracelets for $2,100? Yeah, maybe so. I found one on Instagram for $1,500, and that's the one I'm going to go for. Okay, but let's say you're here at the $2,100 mark. Let's say you did not find one. This is going to be kind of important. Okay, so check out this, what I've come up with here. If you're going to spend $2,100 on one of these bracelets because you're missing one, I wouldn't buy the bracelet. I would buy the bracelet, but I would buy the bracelet on another watch. What I mean by that is, if you go to Bob's Watches, where are the Bob's Watches? They have one here for $5,500, and of the 4 vintage Speedmasters they have, guess what? It's the only one that has the 1039 bracelet. You see that? See here it says 1039 on this bracelet? So you're getting a $2,000 bracelet on this $5,500 watch, okay? So what was I thinking of doing? If I didn't find the guy on Instagram for 1,500, or if it doesn't go through, then I'm going to buy this watch for 5,500. I'm going to take the bracelet, and essentially that bracelet cost me $2,000. This watch cost me 3,500. I mean, come on, guys. Where are you going to get a vintage Speedmaster 861 with patina like this? Look at the patina on this watch. Maybe there's a better picture. Look at the patina on that watch. I mean, would you buy that without a bracelet for $3,500? Yeah, exactly. Well, what I was thinking was um, actually not selling this second watch, but wearing it, because am I going to wear that pre-transitional 68 Speedy that I just bought? No, I'm not going to wear it. It's a collectible piece. To me, it's special. It's never going to get worn. So here's my thoughts. Follow me on this. Since I'm never going to wear the collectible, it doesn't need a bracelet. It can stay on the NATO strap. I can buy this one from Bob's and I can wear it. This is a beautiful patinaed Speedmaster to wear as a daily wearer, and I'll wear it with the 1039 bracelet that it comes with. You know, and one day if you ever sell it, you just sell it without the bracelet, keep the bracelet for your collectible watch. Isn't that a great idea? So this is where I was going with this. So last night I had every intention on buying this second Speedmaster from Bob's. And listen to me here. I'm kind of screwed on this purchase because Bob's is right down the street from me. So I have to pay sales tax. So this watch will cost me $6,000, whereas it would cost all of you $5,500. All right. It's still worth it. It means I'm getting the watch for 38, and it's still worth it. I'm sure I can sell this watch for 3,800 without a strap all day long when a modern Speedy is selling for 38. So here was my decision factor. If I'm getting this watch for 3,800, okay, because 6,000 minus the bracelet means the watch is $3,800 to me without a strap. Can I buy a better watch for $3,800? If not, I'm going to buy this second Omega. If I can buy a better watch for that 3,800, then I'm going to buy the bracelet and not buy the Omega. Did that make sense? And to me, I said, there's no way I'm going to find a better watch for $3,800. And guess what? I did. I did. I found a 1950s vintage watch for $2,800. And there's a dealer that has the same watch, virtually the same watch, very similar, uh, coming up for sale. And I'm waiting to see what they're going to sell it for because I'm just curious what they're going to sell it for. What's that watch? I don't want to reveal that right now. We're going to save that for another time. But um, so I decided on not getting the second Speedy from Bob's. Rather, I'm going to buy a bracelet on its own because the other money I'm going to put towards the second watch that I never plan on buying, and I'm going to get it, if that makes sense. So that's definitely a high consideration if you're buying one without the bracelet. You know, do you buy a second vintage Speedy with the bracelet, or do you buy the bracelet on its own, or you do not buy one at all? Okay. Now, if you don't want the expensive 1039, then you can get this bracelet. And I'm going to pull it up on Bob's. You see this bracelet? It says 1171-1. So the 1171 bracelet is the bracelet that Omega produced to replace the 1039 bracelet. These replacement bracelets can be had for $700. So if you don't want to spend $2,000 on the 1039 Omega bracelet, you can spend $700 on an 1171. But if you ask me, as time goes on, I want my package to be perfect. I want my package to have the 1039 original bracelet, because here's my reasoning. Right, blue shirt, here's my reasoning. 20 years from now, blue shirt Buddha is shopping for an Omega Speedmaster Transitional watch. Answer me this, blue shirt. You've got three watches all identical on the table to buy. Seller A, B, and C. Seller A, well, let's just say seller 2, A and B. One has a bracelet and one doesn't. Which one do you want? It's not a very hard question. The question is, the question isn't which one do you need? The question is, which one do you want? Between A and B, everybody's going to want the one with the bracelet. So you always want to, when you have a collectible, something special, you always want to be in the position where it's wanted more than the one next to it. Okay. That little extra want, trust me, will fetch more than the watch bracelet is worth. I mean, down the line, the difference between having and not having this bracelet isn't going to be $2,000, guys. It's going to be $7,000. Okay. I'll be able to sell this watch for $7,000 more than the next guy just because I have the bracelet and he doesn't. Okay. Mind you, this has become now a 50-year-old watch. So this is a hell of an old watch. Yeah, 1039, Thomas. Yes, the 1039. Have have any of you guys watching besides Clivers? Are you guys familiar with this Speedmaster watch? Did you know many of these little details that I pointed out? Okay, look, let me ask you guys your opinion on something. I want to ask your opinion on something. Let's look at this. The blue dial Speedmaster, which looks black. It's like a gray black. It's worth a lot of money, guys. All right? It's worth a lot of money. Do look at the picture of this watch and look at the watch that I bought. Tell me the fucking dial doesn't look the same color, man. Can somebody tell me, does my dial look black? Look at the one here in the third picture. Okay, I've got 3 pictures up here now. Tell me which one mine looks more like. The black one on the right or the blue one on the left? You know you know, I'm wondering if I hit a holy fucking grail here, okay? I'm somewhat of an amateur watch collector, but do you think it's possible that I got a blue dial? Anybody? I'm gonna wait for an answer from some of you because I'm really beside myself when I'm looking at these pictures. I wanna tell myself I have a fucking blue dial. Doesn't it look like the one on the left? Holy shit. You can't see the difference. It looks the same, right, bud? Doesn't it look the same, bud? But when you look at the picture on the right, the third picture, the one that's set back, you can tell the difference. You can see that one is black, black as night. Rick, Rick, what color is the Rick? What color is the dial on the left in the first watch picture? What color is that, Rick? Is that blue or black? The picture on the left, not my watch, but the first picture to the left. Is that blue or black, Rick? What is it, Rick? What are you seeing, Rick? Is the first picture on the left blue or black? Please answer me. Okay, because the one on the left is the blue dial. That's not debatable. The one on the left is a picture of the blue dial. Okay? That's the blue dial. This one here, man. This is the blue dial. Okay? That's the blue dial. All right? And then here is mine. Here's mine. Can I make it bigger? Shit, dude. Yeah, maybe it isn't, but but maybe it isn't. Look, hey, the chances are it's not, but what do I know? You know, Pictures are hard to me, the picture's telling me it's like a 50-50, man. The one on the left has a slight tint of blue. Yeah. I can see that it's got a white look to it. When you step back, it's got a white look to it, whereas mine doesn't have a white look to it. But you know what that white look is, guys? That white shading, that white look, those white little splotches on the left one, that's the Hesselite crystal. That's the Hesselite crystal. It's not as clear as mine. So it makes it hard to tell. Yeah, you can't tell in the photo. It's hard. It really is. All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is I wanted to point that out to you guys so you know that there is a difference, and I'm crossing my fingers. I'm just crossing my fingers, you know? And I want to say, I just want to say, I think my bezel is in remarkable condition. Look at the bezel. It's in remarkable condition. It's in remarkable condition. The Hesalite glass, everything, the dial is in remarkable condition. Even I noticed the hands are patinaed, but I don't see any of the corrosion, which I gotta be honest, I hate the corrosion when you see the corrosion on the hands. So, but look at when you look at this watch now, when you look at my watch in this picture, do you see where I kind of feel there's a possibility it could be that blue dial? Do you see that here in this picture at all? To me, there's a possibility. I see it. I see a possibility. Actually, no, my friend, the reference number is not going to tell you if it's the blue dial or not. The reference number is the same. Same whether you have the applied logo or the painted logo. The reference number is the same. So you can see that I have the applied steel logo here, and I have the recessed minute track. So, so anyway, what do you think, guys? I mean, I think I really scored in this watch. I don't know how much you guys think it's worth. How much do you guys think this watch would be worth? Is there anybody who has that has an inclination as to how much this watch should be worth? Because if I take a look at let's talk about how much it could be worth. Because when I take a look at Bob's, good old Bobby Boys, okay, he has nothing similar. Really, he doesn't. The best watch he has is this one with a service dial. Let's not even look at it, you know. Let's not even look at it. The best watch he has is a 321 67 model. I'm going to be honest, this isn't a bad watch. I think if somebody's looking for a pre-moon 312 as opposed to my 861, I think this is a good watch to get because of the price. Okay. So I paid 9,300. I paid 9,000, but I had my dad order it for me because it was such a large item. I wanted someone who has an extensive, 15-year PayPal history in case there's a problem. I wanted him to order it. I've never bought anything on PayPal or eBay. So I think my dad said there's $300 in fees. So I'm not sure if I paid 9,000 or 9,300 for my watch. Do you guys think I got a good deal? $9,000 for my pre-transitional. What's $16,000, Rick? Mine? Well, look, if I go to Chrono 24 or I go to eBay and I type in 1968 Omega Moonwatch, I can piecemeal the damn case out. I can piecemeal the fucking watch out. $1,600 for the case back, 3,000 for the motor. Okay, here's another reason why I jumped on this son of a bitch. Let's talk about this a little bit more. The rarity of the watch. There's none here. Go on eBay. There are no 68 transitionals. I got the only one. Is another bus going to come? As Clive puts it, yeah, there'll be other buses, but you know what? Maybe there won't be. Okay? There's plenty of buses on produced watches, but on unproduced watches, um, no, no. Just like, what did I miss the bus on? I missed the bus on my all-steel Zenith Daytona when I saw Kenny Nguyen offer it to me for $17,800. That bus came and left, guys. That bus came and left. You feel me? You dig it? That bus is never coming back. It's gone. Al Qaeda blew that bus up the hill. It ain't coming back. It's gone. So, you know, you have to know which one the bus will come back for or not. And this is what I'm talking about. At some point, the bus is not coming back on this watch. Did I get on the last bus? Do you feel lucky? Is another bus going to come? That's what you got to ask yourself. So you got to get on board before you miss the bus. I think that's what I got to say about that. So eBay doesn't have any of these available. How about Chronic 24? Omega 1968 Speedmaster. Nothing in the United States. Do you see that? Do you see how there's nothing in the United States? You see that, right? Rarity. This is what I'm talking about. If there was another one, if there were two of them, I probably wouldn't have bought it. You feel me? I probably wouldn't have bought it. Is there another good buy out here? I found one. You guys probably want to take a look at it. Do your own homework, do your own research, do your own digging. But I found one, and I was deciding between the one I got and this one. And I'm going to tell you why I picked mine instead of this one. But I'm going to show you one here. So if one of you guys want to nab it, again, my caveat is I only know what I know. But this watch, to me, looks like it's a good watch. Let me find it here. It's the most expensive one, and it's in Venezuela, right here. I'm going to leave this up for a second in case somebody wants to find the listing. Basically, you want to type in Omega Professional. What do you want to type in? What did I type? I typed Omega Speedmaster Professional. Scroll down, and for $9,500, there's one from Venezuela. Okay. What is this? This is a 321 1967 dot over 90 with the 1039 bracelet. You see, it's got the 1039 bracelet. You see that? It's got well, I want to let me switch pictures. Well, I want to let me switch pictures. Okay, there we go. No. Switch pictures, come on. Okay. It's going to do this to me. Okay, so look at this watch. Look at this watch, guys. It's got the 1039 bracelet. It's got the dot over 90 bezel. It's got the applied steel logo. It's got the step bezel minute track. It has the proper minute hand. I didn't point this out, but if you look at, see the minute hand on this one here, the minute hand is different. It has the The minute hand is bolstered at the end with a triangle. Same with mine, okay? But one of the things you need to know on the older ones, they don't have that. They have a straight minute hand. You see that? So this watch is correct. This watch is correct. If you ask me, this watch looks good, man. It's got patina. The crystal looks good. Everything looks good on this watch, man. The only thing that turned me off on it was it looked a little dirty, and it's in Venezuela. But it's got the bracelet. It's got the correct case back. It's got the correct 516 links. It's got the Omega emblem on the crown. It's all original. The corners look good. It looks to be unpolished, which is more important than it being clean. And I gotta tell you, if you take a toothbrush to this and spend 2 hours cleaning it, it's probably not gonna look so bad. Thomas, comfortable buying something from Argentina, Venezuela? Okay, let's talk about that a second. Let's first realize what the value of money is here and there. To us, we're going to spend $10,000 on a watch. Okay, a crackhead's going to spend $10,000 on a cocaine crack. Okay, in Venezuela and Argentina, $10,000 is 20 years' salary. You understand that, right? You understand that in Argent in what's that country right now that's going under? Venezuela. That a police officer there makes something like $60 a month is his salary. So somebody scamming you for a $10,000 watch in Venezuela, look, if they get that money and they get away with it, it's not only changing their life, it's changing probably 50 fucking people's lives that they know. It's a lot of money, man. They'll never have to work again. I'm being honest. That's how much $10,000 will take them over there in Venezuela. And if the son of a bitch puts it in Bitcoin, he's going to be the richest person in Venezuela in a couple of years. But but so that's something to consider. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is that if they get that money, they could give a shit less if police come after them or nothing because there's no recourse in a country like that. Your only recourse is with your medium of purchase, be it PayPal, eBay, what have you. Um, if as man, I don't see a problem with it as long as you can get your funds back from eBay or PayPal, and then what they say about buying the seller, which to be honest, I didn't even look at the seller here. The seller has 98% positive feedback. I don't know if that's good. Okay, there's the seller. Okay, I don't know if that's good. I'd ask my dad because my dad is an expert at this eBay shit. But as long as your medium of purchase protects you, man, Thomas, I don't think there's a problem with it. If you see something you want and it's worth it, the only thing that you're going to need to know is, depending on where you're at, what happens with the customs and the taxes. As far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of done buying shit from out of the country because I bought some computers. Um, I bought some Bitcoin mining computers from China, and man, the customs reported the sale to the state tax board, and the state tax board hit me with $5,000 in taxes, sales taxes, and penalties and interest. Those bastards. I'm not buying anything international anymore, uh, just so I don't have to give them any money. So that's definitely a consideration. Well, there you go. Blue Shirt says you don't want anything less than 99% positive feedback. So how does that affect your decision in purchasing this watch? I don't know, but here's another thing to consider. Uh, how much can you get this watch for here in the United States? If you're in the United States. Because if I was to buy this watch right now for $10,000, I know I'm going to pay $1,000 in sales tax because those pricks are going to come after me. So, and then I'm probably going to pay a couple of hundred in customs duties. So, do you find one already in the United States and pay 13,000 for it? Yes, absolutely. If you find one that's a couple of $1,000s more in the United States, then absolutely. But my point is that I'm not exactly finding them. And if you find them, look, if this watch was in the United States, it wouldn't be selling for just 9,500. I guarantee you fucking that. I guarantee you that. This watch would not be selling for 9,500 in the United States. All right, this is easily a $17,000 watch. That's what I think. Is it dirty? Man, it's dirty. But it's also steel. I don't see why it can't be cleaned. I've bought one watch from Europe. I don't even remember the name of the country. It was some East Bloc Russian country, some small ass country. But it was I bought this from I bought this on eBay from a far lost shithole country. I'll show you what I bought a year ago. Um, what's it at? This was the only thing I ever bought from a foreign country on eBay. I bought a Heuer Swiss 1950s vintage pocket watch. Isn't that cool? And that watch cost me $260. Isn't that cool? Now, I wasn't gonna cry if I lost my $260, and that's why I got it. And I fell in love with this little pocket stopwatch. It's a decimal timer. So look, I bought it because the Olympics were going on, and when you time an Olympic event, it's not a regular stopwatch. You can't use a Daytona to time an Olympic event. Did you know that? And all Olympic events are timed in decimal time. So this is a decimal stopwatch. Okay. Oh, what I mean by decimal time is 1.1 second, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Okay. So 1 minute, 30 second is 1.5 minute. And you can see that here on my Heuer scale. When it gets to the 30 seconds, it's at 50. So it's 1.5. But yeah, I wouldn't buy anything. Uh, I don't know. That's something you need to. I'm not an eBay expert. You need to research whether eBay or PayPal will make you whole again if you get screwed on that deal. Okay, did I beat up the Speedmaster enough? Is there anything else to go over? Let's see here. Let's look at the watch one more time. One more time. So when you're buying one of these, you want to look for the dot over the 90. The second thing you want to look for is the dot below the dot below the 70. You see the 70? You want to make sure the dot's on the bottom corner. All right, it's not like that on all the other Speedmasters either. And then where it says tachymeter on the bezel, where it says tachymeter, you need to make sure it has the little accent above the E. The service dials do not have the accent above the E. There's one other thing. If you ever see a bezel that has the 220 on it, you don't even hesitate. You buy that son of a bitch. You see the bezel here by the crown, it goes from 250 to 225. Well, Omega produced a bezel that actually has a misprint. And instead of 225, it says 220. And it's a misprinted bezel. It's called a 220 bezel. If you find that, you don't even take the time to ask somebody. You just buy that son of a gun. All right. So when this watch arrives, I'll do an unboxing video. And bud to stud. I bought my Hulk from Venezuela, and when I traded it to a dealer, they went all through it and it was perfect. Now, with that said, I would still be skeptical. Yeah, well, there's rich cats all over the world, man. And I'll guarantee you, there's lots of rich guys in Venezuela because, wherever there's poor people, there's rich people that are capitalizing on poor people. Let that be known. Wherever there's poor people, there's always rich people capitalizing on those poor people. Otherwise, those poor people wouldn't be able to survive either. They need those rich people to capitalize on them in a way. It's a symbiotic relationship. One you'd prefer to be on the one side versus the other. So when I get this Omega Speedy, I'll be doing an unboxing to go over it. I do plan on taking this watch to what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this watch to Bob's Watches. I do believe I can pay them a fee to authenticate it and give me a Bob's certification. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Bob's, have them open it up, inspect it, and I'm going to ask them to make me an offer on the watch after I get the bracelet. After I get the bracelet, I'm going to ask them to make me an offer on the watch. Why am I going to do that? Because I'm going to find out how much my watch is worth. If they offer me $10,000 for that watch, then I know the watch is worth 14. If they offer me 11, I know the watch is worth 15. Whatever they offer me on that watch, I can safely add $4,000 to it and know that's the value of the watch. So let's see what happens. So when I get that watch, I'll be doing an unboxing, and then I'll be getting the bracelet. I'll do a little unboxing of the bracelet, and then I'll clue you guys in on, look, the second watch I bought for $2,700 is coming on Tuesday. And when that one comes on Tuesday, unless I do a live stream before that to go over it, I'll probably do that. I'll probably do another live stream to go over the other watch that I bought for $2,800. And I think you guys will be stoked on that one. It's a pretty cool watch. Vintinier is going to want to join the discussion on that one for sure. I'll see if I can get him to join. All right, we're out of here. We'll catch you guys on the AC3 show later today. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Chasing Watches. Have a good rest of your Friday, and we'll see you on the Paul Pluta channel. Well, you know how it is. I'm new at this, so I'll be damned if I know how to end the live stream. Tell all your fuckhead friends to subscribe to my channel. I should have taken Archie up on the offer when I was on there one of the last times. He said, "Tell everybody about your channel." I could have probably had 1,000 subscribers, but I'm kind of a little shy. I don't want to really have a whole bunch of fucking people watching me, man. I kind of like it when it's a small group like this. So we'll see. Next time I go on there, I'll let them know to tell everybody, and the fuck if I can figure out how to end the stream. I don't know how to end this shit, man. I'll be damned if I know what to do here. Fucking end the stream. Where does it say stop the damn live stream, huh, guys? Ay, mama. Fuck you in the stream. Okay. I'll be honest, I have no goddamn clue how to end this shit. Yeah, well, hey, Mooney, you know, if you have a clue how to end the damn stream, clue me in on it, man. Haha, I found it.